Welcome to Spooky Stories. This month, I've gathered 2 spooky stories for you, our dear listener. Are you ready? Are you ready for them? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Are you there? I can't hear you. Well, anyway, this story's called Hello, Caller.
The Janitors went home.
And we're back. It's a great day to be doing this show today at WKEJ with a brisk night sky of 57 degrees. It's easy to get lost out there in the stars above contemplating the rough realities, but I'm here to help you calm your nerves. Otherwise, it wouldn't be Dr. Nigel Williams, your friendly neighborhood open ear. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hello. Long time caller, first time listener.
How does that work?
Oh, sorry, I meant, yeah, you know what I meant.
It's okay. Nerves are like whiskers. You gotta grow a few and learn to live with them if you want to be a cool cat.
Well, I guess I just want to ask, how can you live with yourself?
Excuse me?
It's a simple question. I was hoping to get a simple answer.
Your meaning is lost on me, sir. I'm unsure what you mean. It's hilarious to me that my producer, Daryl, keeps trying to tell me that this kind of thing will never happen again, and yet here we are.
Answer the question.
Well, it's hard to answer a question I have no answer to.
Do you need to be reminded?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and remind me of what wrong I've done?
Do you remember a little girl on her bike about 15 years ago? It's easy to let memories fade.
Well, listeners will know that a few years back I had an alcohol problem, and
That's no excuse.
well, now, let me finish. It was a night that kicked my ass back on that wagon, and I've been on it ever since. I drank a little too much, and my car got away from me. She was riding her bike, it was dark, and I clipped her.
You killed someone that night.
Caller, listeners, God, whoever's listening, I did not kill anyone that day. I hitting her bike kicked my sobriety into full gear, and I hopped out to help her up immediately. She fell down on the side of the road in a little ditch and scraped her knee pretty bad, but she told me that she lived a few blocks away, so I lifted her up and took her home. I've been sending her birthday presents ever since.
Actions have consequences.
What do you mean?
My mother called me that night. She said that Ruby was in an accident and that I should hurry home. My boss let me off early. I hopped in my car and drove. A little too quickly. My hands were shaking, my blood was boiling, then, just like that, my blood was elsewhere. It came quick, but what followed was anything but.
Now, hold on. You're blaming me for your death?
Blame is a feeble word. I'm just trying to rectify a mistake.
How do you plan on rectifying it?
Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
You know what? This is nonsense. Daryl, please get this clown off the air. I don't know who you are or who told you about this incident, but this is no longer something I can continue to play along with.
Do you not believe me, or do you choose not to?
I'm being told by my producer that we have having some technical issues.
Do you not believe me, or do you choose not to?
I've never been one to believe ghost stories. How about now? Okay, well, it seems the power has gone out in the studio, and if by some chance the microphones are still hot and you're able to hear this, then we will return shortly. Daryl, let's get this power back on. Daryl? That'll do it for WKEJ for tonight. Enjoy the continued brisk night sky of 57 degrees. Good night.
The Janitors went home. The Janitors went home.
Ooh, baby, baby. That really spooked my chill bone right down to the core. Speaking of chills, this next story is called Here Today, Gone Tomorrow.
I was lying in bed on the verge of sleep when I heard a noise like glass breaking somewhere in another room in my apartment. I thought about getting up to see what the noise was, but I was so comfortable in bed and figured it was probably nothing. My eyes got heavier and I felt myself drift further towards sleep when I heard another sound, like a thud. Again, I thought about getting up to investigate the sound, but I was so comfortable in bed. I'm sure whatever it is, it'll resolve itself. However, just when I finished that thought, the door to my bedroom swung open. I looked over at the doorway, but no one was there. It was at this moment of uncertainty that I heard a sound, a dragging sound. I was frozen with fear. The dragging sound crept its way closer and closer towards my bed. The sound arrived at the foot of the bed and stopped, and then silence. I clung onto my bed sheets, looking past my feet towards the edge of the bed, terrified of what was hiding beyond the bed, just out of view. Slowly, a head began to rise and reveal itself. The room was dark, but there was some light seeping through the blinds, allowing me to somewhat make out the figure rising before me. It was the head of a woman with awful, witch-like features. She had dark gray, shaggy nest-like hair, a big drooping nose riddled with hairy pimples, pale green leathery skin, and black marble eyes. She spoke.
"Oh, what lovely toes you have. So plump, so juicy. I could just eat them up."
The witch stretched her lips to form a hideous smile, revealing her gnarled, rotting, jagged teeth.
"In fact, I think I will eat them up."
The witch opened her mouth wide and gnashed her teeth into one of my big toes. The pain was excruciating, and yet I couldn't scream, I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything but watch this horrible scene play out as I continued to lay in bed, paralyzed with fear. She bit my big toe clean off, sloppily chewing it, tilting her head back, and then swallowing it down.
Delicious. I think I'll have more.
Again, she opened her mouth wide, took a big bite, and bit off another toe, and then another, and another, until she'd eaten all of the toes on my left foot.
So good. So delicious. So scrumptious. More, please.
Her head moved over to my right foot as she opened her mouth wide and chomped down at the base of my other big toe, biting it clean off. As she chewed on the toe, she made the most disturbing chewing sounds as saliva oozed from her lips. After she swallowed down my big toe, she moved on to the remaining toes and gobbled the rest up. Then she let out a big. Suddenly, I was jolted awake. It was morning. What an awful nightmare. As I lay in bed, completely drenched in sweat, I started to remember all the details of my nightmare. Instantly, my stomach felt sick. I leaned over the side of the bed, automatically expelling the contents from my stomach onto the floor. I glanced down at the pool of vomit and noticed there were a bunch of undigested potato lumps sitting in the pool. I thought to myself, I don't remember eating potatoes the night before. That's when I looked closer and realized they weren't potatoes. They were toes. 10 of them. I pulled back the bedsheets to reveal my feet with no toes.
Ew! What a toe gobbler. I wonder though, do humans even need all of their toes? Some toes are so small and seemingly useless. We might as well just snip them off after birth and just get rid of them. I mean, we snip the tip of little pee-pees off. Why not snip off some useless toes while we're at it? What do you think, listener? Should little baby toes be snipped off at birth, just like the tip of a little man's wee-wee? Or should toes remain attached and unscathed, giving you the option of biting them off later in life, if you so please? Cast your votes by sending an email to spookystoriesshow@gmail.com. The results will be revealed during next month's episode. Oh, that reminds me, next month in October, we'll be doing 2 episodes. One on the 13th and a special episode on the 31st, Halloween. So brace yourselves for a spooky good time. Well, that does it for this month's episode. We'll see you next time.